Hey, HR friends, welcome back. We're in the 4-3 emotional 6.5 day sequence, and we made it to the last 12 hours. We're going to talk about the last 12 hours of the sequence. Now, if you're just joining us now, I don't suppose it's necessary to go watch this overview. But if you don't know how these forecasts go, this kind of gives you a step by step so you can keep up. We're going to move pretty fast here. So the last 12 hours is always difficult because when we get to the end of one of these electromagnetic tides at the emotional level, and there are going to be a lot of strong polarity moments that are going to flip simultaneously. So we've got a lot of first person agitation. So you really want to watch that. It's been elevated now for the last 2 days, and this last 12 hours isn't going to be any easier. And at the end of this 12 hours, when we get down into the detail 24, you'll be able to see that flip flop I'm talking about. Now, this little mess right here, this is actually a mental polarity flip that's happening. So there was mental and emotional happening, and then the emotional went away, and it flipped up here, and that's what's going into this. So this is going to be a little bit more challenging. We've got three strong frequencies, two emotional, one mental. So you just really want to stay as calm as you can in this next 12-hour segment, and even just take a deep breath. It's going to be a little difficult here. Now, objective is not going to be easy. And I say objective isn't going to be easy because this is the testing sequence and it's going to stay similar to what we had in the previous 24 hours. The only thing that you might see an upkick on here is this right upper is going to be tested a little stronger. Now, these are the frequencies that if you're out of balance with these relationships on this side, so if you're not committed to the team or if you're not balancing your routines equally, well, then these are the quadrants of your body you're going to experience damage. And all we ever have is frequencies testing us. So really you only get punished if you don't do what it's trying to teach you, which is just a balanced choice. And that's what we should be doing anyway, right? We should all be acting and conducting ourselves in a way and having routines that when we put them all together, it's going to make sure that every future family that comes into this existence is going to have something they want to live for. You know what I mean? Let's make that for them. So all right, so that's enough about testing sequence here. This is not going to be problem today. What's going to be the problem is this 12 hours, because in this 12 hours, we have a very busy day in alignments. Now, before we get into these alignments, I want you to see this flip-flop I was talking about. You see how strong it is in first person here? And then in a split second, boom, this drops down and bang, that comes right back up here, and then this is going to hold. And you can see we're dancing in that pretty high range here for the next not only 12 hours, but for this 24-hour period. Now, we're just going to talk about this 12. All right, so let's get up here and talk about these alignments. And we've got a lot of them today. So the best way to do this is just to lump them together here. So all these alignments are going to be coming after the upper quadrant of the body. Now, if the alignments are happening and they're blue, they're testing to see how well we're getting along with our teammates, the older teammates on our team. Now, this is how it works. It doesn't matter how old or how young they are. Okay? If they're male or female, you have to master relationship. In a master relationship, you have to be able to communicate. You have to help them alleviate stress. You have to coordinate and you have to do objective together, meaning you have to synchronize your routines to leave this place better for everybody. That's how you'd be perfect. Okay. Now, we're all far from perfect here, but we've got a lot of we can be doing to make this better because the more out of balance we are, well, the more you're going to feel it. That's just how this works. The faster you're going to age, the more damage you're going to take. So, all of these alignments, as this time bar is going through, all these blue ones, it's all testing upper quadrant, all right? And there's quite a few of them today. Now, the other one we need to talk about is this long one right here. This is a 9.25 hours, so 9 hours and 15 minutes. This is going to test upper quadrant. Now, this is on the purple side, so this has to do with the larger routines. The national and the world routine is the upper body. Now, if you're out of balance with those upper routines, meaning whatever you're doing isn't really thinking about the big picture and it's not going to leave the big picture better for everybody, well, then accelerated damage. And in this case specifically, it's going to the right upper quadrant. So pretty brutal day of testing. All this stuff down here, this is, I mean, it's nice to know what's going to be a little bit heavier and what's going to be a little lighter. You can also see what's coming here. When we jump into the 4-2, the left lower quadrant, get ready. That's all I can say. Right. So these two graphs we've got here, these show where the strongest frequencies are going to be sitting here in this next 12-hour period of time. And we've got a little imbalance. We've got 4 or 5. So we got 5 on the left, which means we have 3 on the right. Okay. And there's nothing going on the right side in first person. So if you get right-sided quadrant pain this next 12 hours that lasts the duration of time, what we know is that you're having problems balancing routine. Same thing over here. If you get upper left quadrant pain, well, we know that right then you're having problems getting along with first persons. Now, in truth, you just got to commit to your team and you got to balance your routine. Once you do those two things, you're in good shape, no doubt about it. If you're not doing those things, well, this is just telling you why you feel where you feel when you feel it. That's what sentient space-time reality allows us to do. It allows us to know when you're going to feel something, what you're supposed to learn from that feeling. And if you choose not to learn from it, well, that feeling comes back a little stronger and a little longer each time. That's how that works. All right, now let's end this out. So this is the rest of the electromagnetics for 2024. We do this because, well, we want you to be prepared. We want you to have this pattern well before it transpires. That way you can start to eliminate this stress before it starts to create chaos in your life and do all the things you don't want it to do. Now, what we really need is we need bunches of individuals, regions of individuals that start to commit to this, and we can change what's happening in the larger picture at that community level. So that's what Health Reconnected, we're planting those seeds right now, trying to get as many people to start investing in understanding how they feel and how that's actually manipulating what's going on all around them. All right, we'll see you in the next 12 hours when we get into the 4-2. This is going to be quite a transition. So again, high alert here, and definitely try to stay as calm and cooperative and work through things best you can. All right.